Hello, super deep divers. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you had a great whatever day it was for you. Welcome to a new episode. I, of course, am your host, Jason, and I have a audience request today. So let me get my disclaimers out of the way and we will get into it because it'll be great. So the information is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero. Also, you can catch me every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the day on Outworld Fleet Radio. Their website is www.un-conventional.com/radio. You can catch me on Twitter or Instagram under Super Deep Dive, and I do use the hashtag superherodeepdive. You can catch me on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive, where I do post memes every day throughout the week, and I have shows posted every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and I have special slideshows featuring artists or different comic book concepts, things like that. It's a lot of fun. I do have them posted every Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Also, if you want to email me directly, you are more than welcome to. My DMs are always open, by the way, but you can email me at b4itall@yahoo.com. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you did like and subscribe on YouTube. Help me grow the channel. If you wanted to watch the slideshows and watch the show, that'd be great. If not, if you just play it like in a separate tab and then mute the tab, I still get credit for it, and it would definitely help me out a whole lot. But anyways, I have an episode today. I am talking about Swordmaster. Now, I didn't know anything about Swordmaster when he was requested, so it took some research. It took a lot of learning, but it was good because I don't mind learning. All right, his real name is Lin Lai. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is a Chinese hero. If I mispronounce things, I apologize, but I am doing my best with it. But Lin Lai is a college student from Shanghai who receives a mysterious sword from his archaeologist father, who went missing along with Lai's older brother Fang shortly afterwards. 1 year after his family's disappearance, Lai is attacked by a demon at his apartment after receiving a mysterious red orb obtained in a puzzle box. The sword Lai's father entrusted to him moves on its own to save Lai from the demon, which is then destroyed by Ji Shuangshuang, a demon hunter. Shuangshuang reveals that the sword is the Sword of Fuzi, one of 3 sacred weapons used by the Yellow Emperor and the clans of the 3 sovereigns to seal the evil god of war Shiyu in the far past. Shuangshuang explains that she and Lai are the descendants of Nuwa and Fuzi, respectively, and that the sword and the red orb containing the piece of Shiyu's soul were removed from one of Shiyu's 3 tombs, weakening his seal and allowing several of his demon minions to be unleashed around the world. I love that premise. That's a pretty cool premise. Believing Lai to be too incompetent to protect the orb, Shuangshuang takes it with her. Lai gives chase but is attacked by Baron Mordo, who attempts to take the sword for himself but is driven away by Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange then offers to keep the sword for safekeeping, but relents after Lai explains his lineage and needing the sword to find his missing father, using his magic to help Lai reunite with Shuangshuang. Together, Lai and Shuangshuang destroy the remaining demons. Lai travels with Shuangshuang and his roommate Ah Cheng and Nuwa's clan, to the Nuwa's clan headquarters at Gansu, where he is greeted by Shuangshuang's grandmother and the Nuwa chief, Jai Shuangshun. I really hope I'm pronouncing these correctly because I cannot do it a second time. As Lai, his father, and brother are the only known descendants of Fuji, Shuangshun has Lai trained under Shuangshuang to prepare against Shiyu in his demon army. Wow, that's so many sounds. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just so hard when you're not accustomed to the Chinese language to get the pronunciations. It's much easier to read it in my head than it is out loud. Now, going by the name Swordmaster, Lai begins a superhero career while fighting the forces of Shiyu and searching for his missing family. During the War of the Realms storyline, Swordmaster and several other Asian superheroes are summoned by Braun's teleporter to Seoul, Korea, to help the new Agents of Atlas defend Asia from Queen Cinder and her Fire Goblin forces from Muspelheim. Swordmaster and the new Agents of Atlas take Cinder and her army to northern China and later help Captain Marvel defeat her and her remaining forces at the Great Wall of China near Beijing. After Cinder's liege Malekith is defeated, Swordmaster joins the Agents of Atlas. Swordmaster then runs into his Atlas teammate Shang-Chi in New York City while searching for his father. Noticing the upstart hero's inexperience and recklessness, Shang-Chi takes Lai under his wing to improve his skills. The two are reunited with the other Agents of Atlas when flushing out other Asian, Pacific, and predominantly Asian cities outside of Asia, and they're merged into the portal city of Pan, tech by mogul Mike Nguyen of the Big Nguyen Company. Swordmaster and Shang-Chi are later confronted by Ares, who attempts to take the sword of Fuzi to rescue his kidnapped dragon son Ismenios, who Ares believes was captured by another god. Shang-Chi makes a compromise to Ares. In exchange for Swordmaster and Shang-Chi helping him, Ares would help find Lai's missing father. Ares accepts and uses Pan portals to track Ismenios to a temple in Madripoor, where they encounter Davi Naka, the mother goddess of Madripoor. Naka reveals that Ismenios attempted to plunder Atlantis' treasure hoard during the absence of its sea serpent guardian, but was caught by Namor. Due to her duty to protect all dragons, Naka rescued Ismenios from Namor's wrath and imprisoned the young dragon to her temple for his protection and to placate the king. Naka further warns the four that despite their efforts, Namor is still outraged over the disappearance of his dragon and implores them to find her. Wow. Okay. Took a little turn. Oh, excuse me. Took a little turn, but, we're still there. We're still with it, right? Like, we're still on this journey together. A Swordmaster and the Atlas agents help assist Pan citizens, including defending the city from invading wyverns and sea serpents and protecting Madripoorian refugees from harassment from the Pan Guard. Suspicious by these I don't know how to pronounce this word. Suspicious by these things, Swordmaster has joined several of his teammates into infiltrating Nguyen's personal tower, where they discover the Big Nguyen Company had captured Atlantis' missing dragon and were harvesting her scales to power Pan's portals. There's a lot of alliteration in that. Okay, before a decision could be made about releasing the dragon, Namor emerges from the waters off of Pan's coast to reclaim his stolen dragon, kickstarting a war between Pan and Atlantis. In the Atlantis Attack storyline, Swordmaster and the other new Agents of Atlas are summoned by Braun during his confrontation with Namor. Namor warns the group to return to Atlantis' dragon in a day or else face the wrath of Atlantis before retreating. After the skirmish, Swordmaster and the other new agents are introduced to the original Agents of Atlas by Atlas Foundation head Jimmy Woo. When Woo sends Namora, Venus, Arrow, and Wave to Atlantis for a diplomatic mission, Braun discreetly orders Swordmaster and Shang-Chi to spy on Namora due to her familial ties with Namor. The dragon is eventually released from captivity, but upon arriving home, she unexpectedly goes berserk and attacks the underwater kingdom. Swordmaster witnesses the destruction caused by the dragon, and Shang-Chi relays to Amadeus that Atlantis' scientists discovered an implant embedded in the dragon scales. And that's the source of her behavior and what Namor believes Amadeus to be behind the sabotage, prompting the king to resume his assault on Pan. When Braun is forcibly transformed into the Hulk and put under Nguyen's control with Serena Tech, In a last-ditch effort to destroy Atlantis, Swordmaster and Shang-Chi are able to remove the device from Amadeus, freeing him from Ingwen's control and reverting him back to Brawn. When the conflict between Pan and Atlantis is peacefully resolved, Brawn and Shang-Chi leave the team after admonishing Wu for using the team as his pawns, but Swordmaster remains with the agents of Atlas. During the King in Black event, Swordmaster initially defends Shanghai from invading symbiote dragons with Arrow and the Black Knight, who had been abandoned in Shanghai and separated from his ebony blade, but abandons his mission after realizing that the symbiotes were minions of Null rather than Shiyu, believing the task to be beneath him. Angered by Lai's arrogance, the Sword of Fuzi abandons him for the Black Knight, which incenses Swordmaster as he dismisses the Black Knight as a psychotic American unworthy of wielding the sword. While using the Sword of Fuzi, the Black Knight succumbs to madness, which prompts the sword to return to Lai. As Swordmaster and the Black Knight fight over the sword, a symbiote dragon ensnares them with its tendrils, which also mentally connects them to Null, who expresses his desire for their respective swords and ruthlessly mocks the two for their ignorance in their weapons' true histories. The Sword of Fuzi uses the opportunity to use its flames to burn the Black Knight's hand, returning to Swordmaster and freeing the two from Null's grasp, just as a swarm of symbiote dragons amalgamates into Null's avatar, taking on a gigantic appearance of Shiyu. So basically, they Voltroned into Shiyu. Swordmaster helps the Black Knight recover the ebony blade, and the two use their respective swords to destroy the avatar with Arrow's help. When the death of Doctor Strange prompts legions of demons to invade parts of the world, Swordmaster is sent to Seoul by Wu to assist his teammate, White Fox, in taking down a demonic Kumiho that had been terrorizing the South Korean countryside. While fighting the Kumiho, the Sword of Fuzi is destroyed by the Kumiho, who then threw Swordmaster into a ravine. Although White Fox is able to slay the demon, she, the agents of Atlas, and South Korea's Tiger Division are unable to find Lai, with White Fox recovering only a single shard of the sword, causing them to presume he died. Due to the Sword of Fuzi's destruction, the seals on Shiyu's 3 tombs further weaken, prompting more of his demon minions to attack the cities around the world. Wow, so this is kind of nuts, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it, you guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I've still got a bit more history to go. There wasn't a whole lot, so I had to kind of include everything I could find. Lin Lai miraculously survives and washes ashore to Kunlun, where the recently reincarnated dragon Xiao Lao bestows him with his chi, saving Lai's life and making him the new Iron Fist. With several of the sword's shards embedded in his hands, Lai resolves to find the remaining pieces and reforge the sword to prevent Shiyu's release. During his hunt for the shards, Lin Lai briefly encounters his predecessor Danny Rand, who had previously given up the Iron Fist in Flushing, and helps him fight off several minions of Shiyu. Unaware of Lai's identity, but happy that happy that the dragon chose a new champion, Danny inquires Lai about his background and offers to help him with his training, but Lai rebuffs and summons a portal back to Kunlun. And Lai is later accompanied by Mei Min, a friend he made in Kunlun whose family hosts him during his travels and helps him recover the remaining shards while fighting the demonic forces of Shiyu. Despite being chosen as the new Iron Fist, Lai's ascension is controversial among several Kunlun citizens, as he is not only the 3rd consecutive outsider to become the Iron Fist, but he also did not go through the required trials to earn Xiao Lu's chi. Due to the shards of the Sword of Fuzi embedded in his hands, Lai cannot summon the Iron Fist consistently and is left in a constant state of pain, which makes him a target of ridicule and scorn by several detractors, including his rival Yang Yi. After Lai expresses to Min about how unworthy he is as Iron Fist due to his handicapped and unwanted status, the UT of Kunlun, Sparrow, takes Lai under her wing and to help him overcome his struggles and regain his confidence. One day during his training, the shards in Lai's hands suddenly begin radiating with burning energy and leaving him in writhing pain, causing Lai to realize that the first tomb of Shiyu has been destroyed. An empowered demon minion of Shiyu manages to bypass Kunlun's defenses and attempts to steal the sword's remains at Min's home, but Lai injects his arms with him to thwart the demon and uses their extra power to kill him, who reveals with his dying breath that Lai's brother Feng was the one who destroyed the tomb and that he was waiting for him at the second tomb. Lai takes a portal to the second tomb with Min and Yi, but after arriving they encounter Fat Cobra and the Bride of Nine Spiders. Tasked by Rand to track Lai down, the two immortal weapons decide to test the new Iron Fist by fighting him. Severely outmatched and running out of time, Lai flees from the fight to the New Wa clan's headquarters, but is too late and prevents its destruction from Feng and Shiyu's minion. Unable to summon the Iron Fist, Lai is quickly defeated by Feng. Lai rejects Feng's offer to join him, who proceeds to immerse himself with Shiyu's magic and to destroy Lai and his allies. Guided by Xiao Lao's spirit, Lai embraces his identities as Swordmaster and Iron Fist, allowing him to summon the full power of the Iron Fist and remove the shards from his hands into a restored blade, which Lai uses to wound Feng. When Sparrow arrives with Kunlun's warriors, Feng steals her portal to Kunlun, where Shiyu's third tomb is located. After the battle, Lai accepts Danny's offer to train him. Wow, so that just went in a lot of different directions all at the same time. Not quite sure how to interpret it all, so we're just gonna keep going for the ride. There's a little bit more. Now during the Judgment Day storyline, Lai takes a flight to Seoul to rendezvous with White Fox, but is visited mid-flight by Loki, who reveals that he is in league with Feng. Provoked by Loki's arrogance, the progenitor casts judgment on the two by having them partake in trials within their minds. During Loki's judgment, Lai rescues him from being pinned down by a vision of Mjolnir by using the aura from the Sword of Fuzi to lift it. During Lai's judgment, the progenitor appears as Xiao Lu and challenges Lai to take his heart to officially earn his title as Iron Fist. Lai is able to defeat Xiao Lu with Loki's help, but instead of taking the dragon's heart, Lai asks Xiao Lu how to give it to him. Or Lai asks Xiao Lu to give him the heart instead of taking it. Lai receives the mark of the Iron Fist on his right arm and passes the progenitor's judgment. Lai and Loki find themselves back on the flight as if nothing had happened, but the mark still remains on Lai's arm. Before Lai could demand Loki to take him to Feng and Kunlun, Loki teleports away from him. Lai eventually arrives in Seoul and reunites with White Fox. Okay, so the history kind of ends there. He's just kind of doing his thing now. But wow, what a character, right? Like, I love this history. I love that he got the sword from his father, who's missing. As he is learning to use it, he's being attacked all over. So he's really not given a lot of time to perfect his skills. Everything he's learning about it, he is learning as he goes. And I love it because he's making mistakes. He's growing from it, and he's becoming stronger because of it. So it's cool. It's cool. I love it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, you can reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram as well under Super Deep Dive, and I use the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive. Catch me on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive, and comment, like, subscribe. Let's have a conversation, because that's what I like to do. I really like having the conversations with people, going back and forth, especially as this one was a request. But let's get into his powers. Okay, Lin Lai, the Swordmaster, the next Iron Fist. His powers. As a descendant of Fuzi, Lai can wield the Sword of Fuzi and access its divine powers. When activated, the sword generates mystical green flames, which can be launched as projectiles or be used to increase the cutting power and range of the blade. Due to its ability to move on its own, the sword is also capable of allowing Lin to fly at short distances. Although originally forged to destroy Shiyu and his demon minions, the Sword of Fuxi is shown to be just as effective against other demons and the undead. A noticeable trait is that the Sword of Fuxi is sentient and has the ability to move on its own. While the sword has gone out of its way to protect Lin from threats, it also defied him when he showed undesirable traits such as cowardice or arrogance. In some extreme cases, it allowed itself to be wielded by non-descendants of Fuxi. Now, despite the sword being shattered, its broken shards can still project its mystical green flames, which are still effective against Shiyu's minions. Lin makes use of the shards embedded in his hands to enhance his punches and infuse weapons with the sword's flames. Lin later gains the ability to generate blades of the sword that protrude from his right fist. So almost like Wolverine, it's a good kind of way to visualize it. Only it's a sword and not claws. So after being bestowed with the Chi of the Dragon by Xiao Lo, the Undying, Lin gained the power of the Iron Fist, allowing him to summon and focus his Chi to enhance his natural abilities to extraordinary levels. Like every Iron Fist before him, Lin can concentrate his own Chi in the superhuman energy from Xiao Lao's heart, which manifests into a supernatural glow around his hands and fist that can strike with superhuman hardness and impact, while keeping them impervious to pain and injury. Lin can focus his Chi inward to heal himself from injury and pain. Now, due to the broken shards of the Sword of Fuxi embedded in the flesh of his hands, Lin lies in a constant state of pain and agony. The shard's energy disrupts the flow of his Chi, which prevents him from channeling the Iron Fist consistently and causes his body to leak spiritual energy. Failure to balance his Chi and harness Xiao Lao's Chi can potentially result in Lin's death, and immediate removal of the shards are potentially fatal. After overcoming his self-doubt and embracing his dual identities, Lai is able to overcome his weaknesses, allowing him to summon the full power of Xiao Lao and the power of Fuxi simultaneously without any ill effects. Due to his training under the Nu Wa clan, Agents of Atlas, and the Monks of Kunlun, Lai is an expert swordsman, martial artist, and acrobat. In addition to Kunlun's martial arts, Lin is also proficient in Baijiquan and Wing Chun. Now let me tell you, I studied Wing Chun for a while, and it is awesome. Wing Chun is also the style that Bruce Lee was originally taught in, and I have been fortunate enough to meet some of Bruce Lee's quote-unquote Kung Fu brothers. I've met one of them, so I've met one of his Kung Fu brothers. But I've also met people that have trained, I guess, with, like, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. The style of Wing Chun I took was from a guy named, it's under the lineage of a guy named Mo Yat, who trained with Bruce Lee under Ip Man, who was the supreme grandmaster of Wing Chun. Like, he wasn't the creator of it, but he's like one of the greatest ever. So it's kind of cool. Fun facts: Lin Lai is exceptionally good at solving puzzles, and he, as Swordmaster, he does also appear as an unlockable playable character in Marvel Future Fight. I might have to download that and try to play as him, because that would be kind of cool. But what do you guys think of Swordmaster? Like, I personally love his story. I absolutely love it. It's got a lot of things that are very hard to pronounce involved in it, but I do really like it. Let me know in the comments. Like I said, if you want, you can catch me on Twitter or Instagram under superdeepdive, and I use the hashtag superherodeepdive. My DMs are always open. You can email me directly at b4itall, so b4itall at yahoo.com. And if you catch me on YouTube, you can catch me under Superhero Deep Dive. Comment, like, subscribe, share, help me grow the channel. If I can get to 500 subscribers, I will do a giveaway. I'm still holding on to that. I'm holding on to the dream. The dream is to be self-sustaining with this, but in the meantime, I'll do what I can. But now I'm coming up to my favorite part. This is the power expansion. This is where I look at the character and I say, do they need a new comic series? Do they need a movie, a live action series, an animated series? If we do live action, who are we casting? What's the storyline? What's the plot? All this kind of fun stuff. And I encourage you all to send in things like that too. But with this one, like I said, Swordmaster is an audience request. And I really wasn't familiar with the character. But I looked at him, I love him. But what can we do with them? You know what I see? I see an animated series with vivid colors and in an anime kind of style. Now, I understand that this is a Chinese character, but I do think that the anime style works well with it as well as Japanese. I'm not saying that they're interchangeable, I'm just saying that the style is similar. So let this be an official Marvel property though, not like the animes that we see, like the X-Men animated series, or not animated, but X-Men anime, where it's kind of Marvel adjacent. Let this be an official Marvel property. And in the series, let's really delve into the Chinese culture and mythology. And honestly, we're so limited in our knowledge about China. Like we have the exceptions of, the politics, kung fu movie, what the media tells us. But really, it's hard to get into the Chinese culture because so much of it was closed off for so long. And I feel the same way about the Japanese culture, mainly because I'm a quarter Japanese. But they got into some of it with the Shang-Chi movie, and I think we can keep going with it. I really don't see any reason why Swordmaster can't have some kind of connection to Shang-Chi as well. And, he's already gotten the Iron Fist, so we can link them all together. With Danny Rand, Shang-Chi, Lin Lai, and other people. Technically, I don't think Big Hero 6 is considered a Marvel property. But I think it was close. But we can link a lot of these characters together and have some really cool crossovers while getting into the history and mythology of Japan and China and things like that, because there is such a beautiful history. I mean, some of the mythology is absolutely phenomenal. And I think that if we got into it and expanded it, we can actually grow as people as well, so I think it could work all around. But I would love to hear what you guys think. Does he need a live action series? Would you do a new comic series? And if so, who would, what would it be about? Who would you cast in a live action? Tell me. But yeah, in the meantime, guys, I'm gonna head out from here. I really hope you guys send in more. If you have any critiques, questions, comments, requests for future episodes, please let me know. Like I said, you can email me at b4itall@yahoo.com. You can catch me on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive and leave comments and stuff like that. We'll have a discussion. Everything gets acknowledged. Every comment gets acknowledged, even if it's a thumbs up or a heart emoji or whatever. But most of the time, if I can have a conversation, I will. But yeah, I'm anxious to hear what you guys think. Now this is episode 98, so I got 2 more episodes before I hit 100, which will be right around Christmas time. So that's kind of cool. And I have some really good ones planned for the next couple episodes. So let's leave it at that, guys, I guess. I hope everyone is blessed. I hope everyone's happy, and I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is smart. But if you're not smart, don't get caught. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.